Hello everyone, hope you guys are doing well this day. So I want to go ahead and give you this little update on the finish of our coil pot number 3, which was to do a variety of designs, and you were to have at least 3 different coil designs in your finished project. So I've got my 2 here that I did. So they're bone dry now. They've been sitting out getting air. So just a reminder once again, anytime your projects dry out like this, you need to handle them carefully. Don't grab them by the rims or squeeze them too hard, because your clay is like chalk. It's very brittle and it can snap and break quite easily. So again, on this assignment, we were doing the 3 different designs of coils, your choice of any 3. I've got more than 3. We've got horizontal coils, S-curves, little spirals, some dot patterns, and my vertical coils cut on a slant. So this is the original one, the first one that I did. And then I decided to experiment, and I came up with this bowl design. And what I had seen online is some people were using molds. However, if you don't have a plaster or a bisque-fired mold, then your clay is going to stick to that surface. So what I used was a Tupperware bowl, and I basically took just a trash can liner, and I put the bowl inside the trash can liner, and then I just tried to flatten down and tuck in the plastic inside so that it had as few wrinkles as possible. I still went ahead and made a slab base and put down inside. Then I did a horizontal coil, and then I started a row of different designs. And each time I added another row or a coil, I stopped and I blended together from the inside. And then once I was all finished, I took a lot of time to sponge and smooth the inside surface after I had blended it. And then I let it just hang out and dry slowly. So it did go ahead and dry, and once it was dry enough, I popped it out of the bowl or the mold, and this is my result. So again, I have the slab base, started with a horizontal coil, did these little designs here, partial spirals, some dots, some little kind of end shapes, some more dots, and then a final coil on top, horizontal coil, to lock it all in. So nice smooth inside surface, blended well, and really nice design on the outside. I was quite surprised because I hadn't tried this before. I thought it would really smash my coil designs, and yet it didn't do too bad pressing it up against the side of the bowl. And I was worried it might pick up the wrinkles from the plastic, and it didn't do much of that at all. So I did sponge and clean up the outside, but this was my finished piece. Quite happy with that. So that's the finish of coil pot number 3. So now we're going to move in to slab construction. And slab construction, we can either work with the slab while it's moist and wet, forming it, molding it, shaping it, or we can cut out patterns or pieces and let them get leather hard and then assemble our project. So we're going to do a couple different assignments each way. And the first one we're going to start with is what I call a pouch pot. I've also heard them called pocket pots because they look kind of like a back pocket. So you can use these to hang on the wall. You can put pens and pencils in them. I've seen people actually make them to hold their cell phones, and they'll put a little hole in the bottom so they can run a charger cable through it. So you could use it for that. I've seen people put some potting soil inside and grow some little succulents or plants out of them, or some air pots. If you do that, it's nice to put a little hole in the back so that the water can drain out as you water them. So if you hang them on an outside fence or an outside wall where you don't mind the water draining down, you could use it as a little planter also. So it's real simple. It's just 2 pieces of clay, 2 slabs that we're going to put together to create this pouch pot. So I'm going to go ahead and set this aside a moment. And so we're going to make ourselves a slab. Now I've shown you a video before on making slabs, but I'm going to try and do this quickly to go through it as a refresher, since it's been a while since we've been making slabs. So I'm going to move my stool back, and I'm going to go ahead and first of all, I've got a piece of clay. I cut off a rather large piece because I'm going to need to make 2 slabs here, a top piece and a bottom piece. So rather than making 2 different slabs, I'm going to try and do it all in one go and make a large one. So you may find it easier to make 2 smaller slabs. So I've got a nice piece of clay that I wedged up. I tapped it into a cube shape, and I took the heel of my hand and I just pat it down to get it started. So at this point now I'm ready to flip it and to expand it. So what I'm going to do on my board here is just take my clay and toss it lightly towards me, let it hit the surface, it'll start to grab the surface, and it will start to expand. Problem is, it likes to stick to your board. So you might move it around if your clay is quite wet, from side to side on your board so that it doesn't stick. So as it expands and lengthens, I'm going to turn it now and I'm going to widen it a little bit. So again, we're just going to flip this and expand it. And I probably have more clay than what I need, but I do want to make sure I have more than enough so I can get those 2 pieces of slab. Okay, now I want to make sure that this is at least 8 inches wide. So I'm going to check with my ruler. I should have plenty of width here. So at this point, I'm just going to give it 1 or 2 more flips because I'm feeling like it's close to the thickness I want it. So at this point, I'm going to pause the camera and I'm going to move it so hopefully you guys get a little better view.